Well, good afternoon, and it's a very warm welcome to Orient Live this afternoon as the O's travel to Adams Park as they're on the hunt to put some more points on the board and start climbing up that table. They're looking to build on that Tuesday night victory, which was a hard-fought 1-0 over Steve Evans' Rotherham, but it's Bloomfield's Wycombe Wanderers. It's the Chairboys who stand in between the O's and the 3 points. Wycombe, of course, in fine form themselves, sitting third in the table and on the hunt for promotion. So it's going to be an interesting battle between the two sides today. But Richie Wellens will surely be confident that his side can continue, or at least start to put a run of form together that will see them climb away from that bottom zone in League One. And Richie's clearly seen enough. He's confident. He's getting back on the coach, confident that those 3 points are wrapped up already, eh?
Yeah, it's finished. It's done. He's going to sit there, sit in the cab for the rest of the afternoon.
If only it was that easy, though. As we say, Wycombe flying high relatively. It's not going to be an easy game.
No, it's not. I think they've only lost one game at home against Birmingham City in August. And they've been strong at home, scored lots of goals, but they conceded a few goals as well. Especially in the recent games, they've conceded in every game. So I think there's opportunity for us, and I think they're fast, they're aggressive, with powerful players, and I think going off Tuesday's game, I think that helped us. When teams were coming at us, it made it just play more fluently, more quicker, and it helped us to be more active on the front foot. So I think if they start fast and we can reciprocate the same, I think we can sort of have a decent chance. And I think it's time to hopefully this game could be the moment where we just turn the course of the season, because I do think we're kind of in a false position personally.
And Tuesday was massive for that, really, because if we'd have had another defeat Tuesday night, things would have looked bleak, especially with the way other results around the league were going. But we've got to build on that now, haven't we? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we were saying on Tuesday evening about how the nature of the season so far has been a bit stop-start, just the nature of the season, the international breaks, the rescheduled games, the Tuesday night fixtures. But it's been the same for everyone. You kind of can't really rely on that as an excuse, or to excuse the position of the table, because everyone's in the same boat in that respect. So it was a very, very good win on Tuesday. I think it was a game that at half time, when it was 0-0, we said that both teams could come out and want to win the game. Fortunately, we were the ones that got 3 points, and I thought Rotherham kind of faded away, but we made sure that we did the business, and even once we got the goal, we looked the more likely to get the second goal as well. So a positive evening on Tuesday, but as Jabba said, we kind of, it does feel like we're in a forced position, but at the same time we're down there for a reason. So today's a very stern test. We often do quite well against teams like Wycombe though, and teams that come out and want to play. So hopefully we can expose that a little bit.
Well, a good game of football is in store, fingers crossed at least. Before we take a look and see how the team's shaping up for this afternoon's fixture, let's hear from the assistant. It's PT.
PT, Wycombe to come on Saturday, but first off, if we have a quick look back at Tuesday's win over Rotherham, first home win of the season, that must have felt nice.
Yeah, it was nice to get the win. I think some of our performances have deserved it, and I think we deserved the win on Tuesday night. It was a really good, solid team performance, and everyone played their part.
It certainly felt like a home win had been coming, hadn't it?
Yeah, it's been on the cut, like you say, but you've got to follow things through. You've got to finish attacks off. You've got to stop goals going in the other. It might sound silly, but it's all the basics. Got to do the basics right, and I think we've done the basics well the other night. And then once the game settled down a little bit, we had some really good bits of play, and end up getting a good goal, which was well worked on the training ground.
And the gaffer said before the game about finding ways to win. I mean, obviously that's a really important thing, but how nice was it to see us carry out the maybe the not so easy on the eye bit?
Yeah, but I think we're good at that anyway. I think we've shown that over the past 3 years since we've been in, definitely. That we can do the other side of the game. We want to play nice football and get it down and play, but sometimes it's not called for, and you have to adapt sometimes to how the game's looking. Once the game settled down, we actually did play some really good football in the game as well. So we're very good at mixing it up, and I thought we mixed it really well the other night. We had a battle with them and won that battle, and then when the game settled, we won that battle as well and got the goal that got us the win.
Wycombe to come on Saturday. They've had a great start to the season. From what we've seen of them, why do you think that? What's been the key to that start?
Again, they're doing really well with the basics. You know what I mean? They do the basics really well. They get the ball forward. They've got some really good forward players that are going to get them goals and finish. Like I talk about finishing off attacks. They're finishing off attacks really well, scoring a lot of goals. So it'll be a big test for us, but one that we're ready for. Even more so after the win on Tuesday, which has lifted us a little bit more.
Right then, just the one enforced change from that victory on Tuesday night against Rotherham. Tom James is of course suspended, so it's Don Ball who comes in his position at right back. Josh Keeley keeps his place in goal after an impressive display on Tuesday night and finished off the back line along with Don Ball. Jack Curry is on the opposite side of the full-back spot with Dan Happy and Omar Beckles in our two centre-back positions. The skipper is in the heart of the midfield, Darren Pratley wearing the armband. He's alongside Jordan Brown. And then the three attackers just ahead of them too. We've got Ollie O'Neill on one flank, Charlie Coleman on the other, and Ethan Galbraith through the middle. And leading the line this afternoon is Dan Adji. And on the bench for the O's is Zach Hemming, Jaden Sweeney, Brandon Cooper, Jordan Graham, Lewis Warrington, Sonny Perkins and Zek Abiro. So that is how the O's are lining up. The cliches, you don't change your winning side. Unfortunately, we had to with that suspension for Tom James, but it's as close as we could get to an unchanged side.
Yeah, definitely. I think, it was a solid win, like PT said in the VT there. And it's the manner of the way we won. And like Andrew said earlier, when we did take the lead, we didn't just sit back and invite the pressure. We actually stayed on the front foot. We looked like we could get another one. And often when you've been in a situation where you haven't been winning many games, you sometimes protect the win. But we actually kept on going, kept on attacking, which was nice to see. And it was solid. So I think that's going to be important today, a real team solid performance. And I think having Ball in that position, he's like very experienced, he'll do the job. Obviously he might not have the same wonder foot like TJ has, but I think, he's got so much experience. He'll know when to advance, know when to sit and know when we're under the cosh, and I think he can lend his voice along the back four, and I think it's quite actually not a bad little change. Not being that it's enforced, but it's not a bad little change.
Well, he's already played right back for us once this season in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy against Colchester, and he put in an assured performance that day. As I think Richie said in his post-match interview that day, he's played there a lot throughout his career at different times as well. It's not like we're just plugging a hole here. He's a quality player, and it'll be interesting to see how he does it today.
Yeah, when you look at the squad and you look at the enforced changes there, you're always a bit kind of nervous as like, how we're going to manage it. I don't ever get that feeling with this particular squad, and we've got players who can play in multiple positions. If it kind of doesn't even work out like that, then Jordan Brown can step back into right back, and he's done that with distinction in the past. So there's absolutely no cause for concern having Don Ball back there and at right back. So having that experience as well is probably quite useful. It looks more like quite an experienced back line. Obviously, you still get that a little bit with Tom James, but when you have Don Ball there at right back next to Omar Beckles, next to Dan Happy. We were saying this a little bit on Tuesday as well. Josh Keeley is a very, very young keeper, only making his way into the professional game this season, and having experienced heads in front of him probably massively benefits him as well. So looking forward to seeing how he gets on. But no cause for concern at all.
And those other three is in the back line ahead of Keeley in Jack Curry, Dan Happy and Omar Beckles. They should probably have more clean sheets to their names than they do when they're on their game. We've seen this season, they're a really strong defensive unit, so it should be relatively easy for Ball to slot in alongside them there today. Yeah,
of course. I think Haps and Beckles, they've created a nice little partnership over the last seasons, and Don Ball with his experience, it should be a nice seamless transition between the three of them. And the wealth of experience they have, they'll be able to communicate, make sure they follow runners. So I think that's going to be important because they have some fast, quality attacking players, Wycombe. So that communication will be vital. But Dan Happy and Bex knows each other's games, and I think it's like a nice match made in heaven. I think they'll be fine.
And just on the point of the defence, and you've already highlighted Josh Keeley, and Richie has said in recent interviews about players grabbing their shirt when they've got the opportunity to do so. It's probably slightly harder for goalkeeper to do that, but do you feel that Keeley has?
I mean, the way that he played on Tuesday, certainly he was so assured at the back. It looked like he'd not played 2 games, but more like 200. It was very, very impressive. Kind of straight from the off in the first 10 minutes, he was like passing the ball around at the back, looking way more experienced than he actually is. So hopefully he just kind of keeps that calmness and that coolness, and kind of doesn't go a bit too far, thinking, yeah, okay, I've got a couple of appearances under my belt, I've got a clean sheet under my belt, what else can I do? How else can I kind of prove myself? I think with goalkeepers, it's a funny and obviously unique position where some of the best goalkeepers you don't notice are there because they're so assured, and so I think that's one of the things that you just need to be aware of and wary of when you're just starting out. Is just like make sure that kind of like you just do the basics correct, and yeah, don't show off.
And a player who doesn't really need to grab that shirt, so to speak, when it comes to getting a game is Darren Prattley. He oozes class. He's got that pedigree, hasn't he? But when Richie turned to him on Tuesday night and maybe in a little bit of a mini slide, hadn't picked up some points, you looked at Darren Prattley come in the midfield and he performed, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. Again, he has that pedigree. He knows the game in and out. He knows this team very well, and he knows how to kind of get them going. I think Richie knows he can. When I need to bring him in, I can rely on him. He's dependable, and having Omar and him and just in that spine, I just think it just adds so much value to the side, and which evidently showed on Tuesday.
How crucial do you think he'll be to that midfield battle today?
Yeah, massively so, because I mean his experience obviously goes without saying, and the kind of his whole football career to date has kind of been one of calmness and really assured presence in midfield. And it's a funny thing because of course he's not one of these kind of players who's just like, right, what's he going to do next? Just so cool on the ball, and it just feels like a nice presence to have. Like when you see him in the starting lineup, you kind of go, okay, there's a bit of experience on here. He does. I mean, for all the time that he's been here, I can't really think of a mistake. Of course, you want your players to be getting on the score sheet, getting assists. It's not his game, and so and so what his game is to do is break up play the. I don't even want to say simple passes, but it's just play the straightforward stuff, keep the ball ticking over, and actually his partnership with Jordan Brown, I think, is really, really important. I think Jordan's become a better player having played alongside Darren for the last couple of years. So, yeah, it's nice to see him in the starting 11, and it's kind of one of those players where you just go, he looks like he will carry on playing and playing and playing.
Well, 10 more years.
10 more years.
10 more years. He'll be playing for 10 more years at least. We've spoken a lot about being organised, the defence, being solid, which is obviously going to be important today, but goals win games. Only one was needed on Tuesday night. Hopefully we see a few more tonight though.
Yeah,
today,
hopefully. I mean, like we had a lot more opportunities than we had in previous games, like good sort of moments, and I just felt we didn't pull the trigger quick enough. And when you're fluent and you're quite high in your confidence, opportunities come, you just seamlessly turn, strike, take the opportunity. We just felt we thought about it as we thought the opportunity was gone. So as long as we start getting those chances, and now we've won on Tuesday, there's confidence might be there, and people are going to let it run across the ball and just strike on sight. And I think it's very important today, when we do get the moments, we kind of have to take them, because I think defence will do their job, but can the attackers then just be that, that little something at the top just to get that go ahead, put the pressure on Wycombe, then as a collective, as a unit, we can just maybe hold out and weather a few storms. But I think it's going to be really important today that attackers, when they do get their moment, they kind of take the chance.
It was a Dan Happy goal that won it on Tuesday, but as we're saying, these attackers taking their chances, it would be nice, just from a fan's point of view, to see the attackers getting back on the score sheet. Ollie O'Neill looked desperately close on Tuesday night. He could have scored a couple of times.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Ollie this season, because he obviously came in January and just hit the ground running like you wouldn't believe. Like, was one of the most impactful signings I think we've seen in recent years. Got goals and assists. He was kind of averaging a goal involvement every game for the first, I think, 7. He looked like fantastic, and then this season he's not really his stats. 1 assist in 12 games is is not the sort of numbers you want to be having as an attacking midfielder or an attacking player. But he got desperately unlucky, and I think Tuesday was probably his best performance of the season. Started off the game where he had an opportunity where he should have pulled the trigger and didn't, and then when he got the opportunity at the end of the first half where he did, it was really well saved, and then there was one in the second half, a dipping shot that was kind of kept Rotherham really in the game because it looked destined to go in. And he's kind of almost been unlucky in that respect that he's only got 1 assist to his name so far this season, because his performances have deserved better, and he's almost a player that's a kind of victim of his own success, because we expected him to have that same number, put up the same numbers as he did when he first came into the club at the back end of the last season. And if he was, then we'd be obviously higher in the table, and form is a fickle thing, especially when it comes to individual performances.
Well, goals would be nice today, and of course, if you're watching along at home on our YouTube stream, then if you're outside of the UK and Ireland, you can watch along with us here on Orient Live. You can pick up a match pass for just £10, and if you're inside the UK, then you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. Hopefully the O's can give us some goals for you to celebrate at home this afternoon. But now let's take a quick break from today and see how the club celebrated Black History Month at Aldersbrook Primary School this week.
Me, Zach and Aaron, and we've spoke to 3 different school years, and the main point of the story was we had James who was talking about Laurie Cunningham, who's obviously a legend at Leyton Orient, and his journey, because everyone has different journeys in football, and his was super special in relation to the club. So I think it was really fascinating for all the kids to see how his journey unveiled, and then we got to speak a little bit about our journey ourselves and who were our inspirations.
So to see my granddad and to see my dad have to go through such hard times really hit home for me and made me want to achieve and get to a level where I can make them proud.
My dad is black and my grandparents are black. They're very proud, and a lot of the stuff they had to go through when they were younger to break down barriers for me to succeed in my life. It was pivotal, and I take like I said to the kids, a real pride in who I am as a person, and hopefully I'm just still trying to break down more barriers for other people in the future, and that just feels like me playing my part for the kids.
A really important message that I'd like to get across to all of you sat here today is be proud of who you are. Every one of you are different in a really, really special way, but embrace it, love yourself, and enjoy life as well as for the life. That's the advice to all of you. No matter what walk of life you go to, just embrace who you are. Know that each and every one of you are really special people, and have fun. That's my message.
Just spoke to a few different age groups about Black History Month and what it meant to us. So we had part of it of Laurie Cunningham, Orient player, who played for the first team and then later on went to Real Madrid. Just talked about the effects he had being a black footballer coming up and some of the effects we might have had when we were younger. For me, it's just it's part of my culture. So my dad's side of the family is black, so it's just learning that there's going to be challenges and difficulties that you're going to face when you're a young black footballer. It's just how you need to take that into your stride.
I was never into football, and working here I was given the opportunity to get some free tickets from Mr. Gibson. So myself and a colleague went one day and that was it. I kept getting tickets, he kept giving us tickets, and literally by the end of that season I was a season ticket holder, and I've been a season ticket holder ever since. Away games, you don't miss games, best thing ever. It's the family atmosphere I think that we like the most. North Stand crew. Actually fangirled a bit too much I think, but yes, it's lovely seeing the players. What's really good, like I say, is the black players. I think lots of the children now see black players all the time and don't realise just how difficult it might have been in the beginning for lots of them. Also kind of encourages them, like Jordan was saying today, all that self-belief, things like that are fantastic for the kids of our age. Had a lot of hard time with COVID and mental health and things like that, just really, really helpful. So in every week as far as I'm concerned, it would be great.
I've been a season ticket holder at Leyton Orient for 3 years now. Became season ticket holders at Leyton Orient because that was the team that my son chose to support. Born in London, he was given choices: go to a Premiership club or go to Orient. He went to West Ham, didn't like the atmosphere, came to the Orient, loved it, and we've been season ticket holders ever since. North Stand crew, and what we love about it more than anything is the family atmosphere. So we love coming along, and we know that everywhere we go, we will see people that we know. The players are so supportive, and the club is so supportive of us as a school. So today they've been in to talk to us about Black History Month, which is amazing because it really brings it all to life for our children, and it gives our children something to be inspired by and some people to look up to. So it's amazing.
Great to see the club out in the local community and spreading the news. So let's also remind you that this time next month there are tickets on sale for the Tuesday night game against Huddersfield Town for just £10. Just head online to get yours now and get down to the Golden Group Stadium on Tuesday the 26th of November for that clash here in E10. Josh Koroma returning to Leyton for the first time since his departure, a National League hero. That'll be a good one. Let's take a look at the home side then and how Wycombe are going to be lining up as they prepare to face the O's. So in goal for the Chairboys is their number one. It's Franco Ravazzoli across the back line. Their captain is at right back. It's Jack Grimmer, and Daniel Harvey is at left back. And the two centre backs for Wycombe is Joe Lowe and Caleb Taylor. In midfield we have Tyreek Bakinson and Aaron Morley, and then just ahead of them is Cameron Humphreys, Fred Onyedema and Gareth McCleary. And leading the line for Wycombe is Daniel Udo. And on the bench is Shamal George, Declan Skura, Luke Lee, Matt Butcher, Gideon Kuda, Richard Kone and Berilil Lubala. So that is how the home side are lining up. And what are you expecting from them, Andrew?
It's going to be a really, really difficult test for us, but they have made a few changes from Tuesday night. They beat Burton 3-2 away on Tuesday, and I was kind of quite surprised to see their lineup there, having made a few changes there. So Kone's not starting, Onyedema's in there, Udo's in there, but they've got a very, very strong squad. And as Jabba was saying, they've not lost since the 17th of August, and their two losses this season have been against Wrexham and Birmingham, the only teams above them in the league. So it will be a very, very tough test, but some of the players they've got in their squad have been really kind of excellent for them so far this season. But those players up top, that front three, Gareth McCleary, Udo, Onyedema, will certainly keep us honest as well this afternoon.
If we look back at some of our fixtures so far this season, our best performances have arguably come against the likes of the Boltons, the Birminghams, the Wrexhams, Peterborough, where we should have got more result. It looks like we almost relish playing teams that are up there and on paper harder to play against.
Yeah, definitely. It is looking that way, and it looks like especially when we play a team that is going to come for us and go at us. I think it pumps us into life. We seem to be sharper on the ball, so hopefully today we can use their energy to counteract them and be on the front foot as well.
Well, we're going to be handing over to our match commentary team very slightly earlier this week, as there's a minute silence up at Adams Park. So let's go over now to Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Adams Park, where the two sides have taken the field. One change for the O's from the side that got that all-important, a very satisfying win